Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Cartabella / Echo Park to share with you this layout that I created using one of the newer collections, Lost in Neverland. I had to dig way back into the archives for these pictures of my son hanging out with Peter Pan on a Disney cruise back in 2007. So that just tells you how far ago that was. So this is the London Sky stencil that accompanies this collection. And I am using some, I believe that's Bo Bunny modeling paste, gold paste, to add a little bit of texture to the background. I don't want it fully through the stencil because I definitely want it to look like a splash against the sky. I will tell you, I pondered using the navy blue kind of sky-y looking background, but because these pictures are so dark and there is not a whole lot of depth of field, so in other words you can see all of the stuff in the photo, I really needed a white background, and so by using the stencil with the gold texture paste, I was able to add that sky-y feel to it without making the layout too dark. So I'm going to set that aside and let that dry, and now it's dry and I'm back to build the layers and create the layout. So this layout is based on a very tried and true principle that I use, where I have a header and then I have the layered pattern papers behind the photo. And what makes this one a little bit different is that I'm going to use I'm going to call it a topper, which is the banners and the embellishment that are going to go up that top left to just kind of create a tie from that top left down to the center panel where the photos are. So I'm going to use a mix of the strips that come with the collection, along with creating some of my own strips, and use the 6x6 paper pad, and I've pulled the feathers from the 6x6 paper pad there. So I'm going to use that strip of green, and then I'm going to use the Tinkerbell strip and put that on top, which is that blue strip, and then I'm going to use those feathers for variety in color and pull some of that red that I'm going to use at the bottom to just tie the layout together. Now, in a previous video, I had commented on design principles, and those of you who have hung around with me for a while know that my full intent had been to do a design principles video. I still fully intend to do that. However, my life took a turn, and not necessarily for the worse. My husband and I are working out some midlife crises. Nobody cheated on each other. We're just not on the same page. And so we have spent a lot of time dedicated on trying to get this marriage back on track. And that has taken a lot of time away from scrapbooking, and that's probably where life is headed, is less time in the scrapbook room, which is fine, because it makes the moments that I do scrapbook that much more important to me somehow. I'm not quite sure. I'm doing the pages because they mean something to me, rather than I'm doing the pages because I feel obligated to do them, because I have the product, if that makes any sense. And so that project, the design principles, has very much fallen to the back burner. It is still something that I absolutely want to do, and I will do. It's just a matter of time and when time allows for that to happen. So that was an aside. Back to the layout. I am going through the ephemera pack here and looking for things that will fit into the layout. Cartabella and Echo Park, when you get the ephemera packs, there's a lot of words, and I'm really not a words person. I'm more of a things person, I guess, when it comes to scrapbooking, and I don't like words all over my page. I find it very, very distracting. If it's a very big title, that's fine, or that "Come Fly With Me" that's at the top with the string of kids, Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and Lucy, Mary, can't remember what her name is. I do know my Peter Pan story. Anyway, the kids up the top there, that's really subtle, as are those little words that I'm going to stick into the layout. But that adventure is out there, and the think happy thoughts that I'm going to end up putting on are very, very visible, and to me are very distracting from the layout. So I struggle with some of these embellishments, and I do tend to lean more towards using the things, like the leaf that I'm going to end up putting on, and I leave a lot of the phrase sayings out. So I've cut that strip with Peter Pan on the left-hand side there, and I really want him to show, because while Peter Pan is in the pictures and the photos, I really like the way he's standing there with his arms crossed, and want to show some of that in that blue that I'm using to balance the blue up the top with the Tinkerbell in there. I do want something light in there, because that is what's going to lighten up these pictures for me. And so I've got that lighter strip with the stars that comes from the 6x6 paper pad, and then I am also going to use a sticker that I will put on later. It's a white based sticker that says adventure is out there, and that ends up being what I use as the title for this layout. So I'm pretty happy with the strips, but I know I want something red. I feel there's a lot of red in the photo. This was back when I was still taking pictures with the flash, and we were definitely indoors, so I want just a little bit of red. There we go. And I'm just going to use a piece of the, it's kind of a polka dot, that is one of the pattern papers that comes with the collection there. So that will finish off the strips that I'm going to use as backings to the photo, and then it is time to pull out those embellishments that I've selected and just kind of add a little bit more visual interest to that layout. So as you can see, a lot of reddy orange in that photo already, and so I don't want too much of that red showing, but I also want to make sure that you see the stencil stars that I have worked so hard to put down and end up covering a lot of. So my intent was never to fully see them, but I do want you to see them. I also struggle with getting things on straight, and those of you who know me know that that's an ongoing struggle, and my fight with the T-square. I will tell you, though, in an upcoming video, I do actually use it, and we're starting to be friends. So that is a sticker with Captain Hook on it. It's too square, it's too in your face for me, so that will end up being removed. I am now putting the Come Fly With Me embellishment that's going to go up there on some foam, so that I can pop that off so it really looks like and stands out like they're flying in that night sky. So I've got the banners, you can see there, that's from the ephemera pack, and then these are the stickers. They're feathers, and I just thought they looked fun, kind of interspersed, and it makes it look sort of like a ribbon, a medallion, and so you can see I started with those banners moving straight across, and then I wanted them to go in the pattern of that Come Fly With Me ephemera piece, and so now I'm going to kind of arc them around and take away that straight green one there that is very, it's definitely standing out and in your face. So that's how that top decoration on the page is going to end up going, and I really like it because it kind of adds that texture with the feathers and the banner tucked out. So I have a couple of other pieces that I pulled out when I was shuffling through things, and honestly, most of them don't end up getting used because most of them do have phrases, and because those pictures are so busy, it can't take much more in the way of stuff. That these are little phrase stickers. That particular one I don't end up using. I just kind of play with how I'm going to place these things and get just a little bit more lighter things on the layout there, and that's when I settle with this adventure is out there, which ends up being the title. What I also like about that particular rectangular sticker is it does cover up some of the photo, and there's nothing back there, but it is very sharp and clear. I do edit my photos in Photoshop, and I can blur out the backgrounds, but it was really hard to do in these photos, so that was a nice way of being able to get a compromise between blurring the background or covering up the background and bringing some lightness to these photos. So I am going to cut off that part of the tag there. I don't need to tell you that because you can see that I've done that. But again, it just adds, it breaks that straight red line and gives your eye sort of some softness underneath that photo to look at. Another design principle. And again, I promise, get to that video. There's a lot of thought, and actually I can't wing it as I'm doing that. I kind of have to write a script and then read off of a script, and I'm not sure how I'm going to broach that and not feel like I'm literally reading a script. Maybe make bullet points. I'll find a way. We'll get it done. I promise. So these are just teeny tiny little phrase stickers that come with the collection. One of them says "So fun." That's the top one that I'm going to put up there. The little red one says "Off to Neverland." And then the chipboard that's by that tag top says "Think happy thoughts." I am going to, off camera, I believe, use some of the enamel dots, just a few little ones to add a splash of color. And I'm going to journal what little, actually it's really place and date. So that, my friends, wraps it up for my Lost in Neverland collection. I hope you get to get lost in Neverland and enjoy a great weekend coming up. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping with me today. I look forward to seeing you again. And actually, it will be another Echo Park layout using one of the upcoming summer collections. Hope you're doing well. Take care.